So not too long ago, I dropped my top 10 fall designer fragrances video for this upcoming 2023 fall or autumn season. So generally when I'm doing a video like that, I'm kind of looking at a couple of things. One, the fragrances that historically I wear the most in fall, and also the things that I'm looking forward to wearing most this upcoming fall. So sometimes there will be new scents thrown into that video. Other times it's going to be some tried, tested, and proven classics that I've been wearing year over year since the beginning. So there's always kind of a mix of things in videos like that. And sometimes you'll end up with some fantastic performers in there. Other times you won't, just because that's not really the main goal of that video. But today is the video for you performance junkies. We have not 10, not 15, but 20 fall fragrances that last over 12 hours. So if you are wanting to get the most out of all of your fragrances this upcoming autumn season and you want to put performance first, this is the video for you. We have a ton of ground to cover, so I'm going to run through these pretty quickly so we can kind of get done in a timely fashion. I've covered pretty much all of these in depth in other videos across my channel, so you can kind of do some poking around and kind of get some more information if you so desire. I'll drop links to them down below as well, and we'll talk about some other things as we go. But also, not in any particular order, all over 12 hours here. So really, you just kind of are splitting hairs. We'll get things kicked off with Fahrenheit Les Parfums by DIOR. It's all about the suede, the rum, some vanilla, and of course, a lot of violet leaf, you know, given that it's a Fahrenheit flanker. This is amazing. A fantastic one at that. I've talked about this a ton. It's one you can get for right around $115. Now, if that's a bit too much and you want to pinch some pennies, Fragrance World just came out with a brand new clone. It's called Reinheit Parfum. So I'll be covering that one here on the channel as well, but just a little heads up now, you can go out there and pick that one up if you want to save some money. Next up, we have Emporio Armani Stronger With You Oud. What I like about this, and it comes as no surprise, it's the original Stronger With You DNA with some oud. And it's a very designer level oud, as you would probably imagine, given that it's a designer brand, and this brand in particular, Emporio Armani, Giorgio Armani, they're all about the mass appeal. And while they're kind of giving us a little bit of variety with this, it still is a very familiar DNA. You get that chestnut, tonka, vanilla, amber sweetness, but the oud just gives it a nice woody touch, and it makes it a little bit more interesting. Great performance out of it. Next up, we have INITIO Side Effect. We've got some cinnamon, tobacco, saffron, amber, sandalwood, all of that good stuff here in this one. And it's a great powerhouse of a boozy, tobacco, warm, spicy cinnamon scent. And this is one of the more popular or hyped up INITIOs. You know, I think generally when people think of the brand, they probably think of this one, Side Effect, maybe Oud for Greatness, maybe Rehab. Absolute Aphrodisiac is one of my favorites as well. It's a fantastic vanilla scent. And really out of all of those that I named, you could probably throw any in this video. For the most part, they're all good for the cooler season and they all have great performance. I just kind of landed on this one because it's a common one that I think you can also get a lot of usage out of as well. I think it might cover a broader range of mass appeal, so to speak. Has like a masculine component to it. It's a little bit more pricey, but it does deliver in terms of performance, uniqueness, quality, and all of that good stuff. Let's go back to another oud with this one right here. It's Gucci Intense Oud. A discontinued scent, however, it still does float around on all the major discounters, and so picking this one up really isn't so much of a problem. However, it is a little bit pricier. That being said, it's not as pricey as Nasomato Black Afgano, and this smells similar to that at a fraction of the price. And when you look at it on the surface, you know, the actual number, the dollar amount, is not all that different. And so you might think, hey, what are you talking about? It's not more affordable. Well, keep in mind, the Nasomato comes in at a 30 ml extrait. This one is, I believe it's a 90. Yeah, it's a 90 ml bottle. The price per milliliter is wildly different. And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of the quality difference and the extrait versus the EDP difference. I mean, that stuff is written on the wall. It's going to be obvious that the niche product is superior in those aspects. However, at a fraction of the price per milliliter wise, you can get Gucci Intense Oud, and it's also more of a designer version of Black Afghano, meaning it's a lot easier to wear, more people are going to like it. It's great for this time of year, smoky oud, but wearable, and has great performance. Let's keep this one rolling with Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Extreme. This is impressive. It's really good. It's got cacao, incense, patchouli, and plum. Kind of an interesting set of notes. And there's many more. Even though this is a newer release, they actually gave a full, complete note breakdown. Quite a few, which is pretty nice to see. This one is not going to get the credit that it deserves because it's lumped into the Bad Boy line, which already doesn't have any respect to its name. And, you know, I can't really blame anybody for that because the original Bad Boy isn't all that interesting or exciting. Bad Boy Le Parfum, I think, is really good. Nice cannabis, spicy twist to that. And this one especially is probably one of the best works so far from the line. The plum, the cacao, patchouli, kind of chocolatey, spicy, with a little bit of a sweet, fruity kick. It's interesting. It's something a little bit different and unique. Has great performance, great for fall. You can also throw in something like Jean Paul Gaultier's Scandal. This is Le Parfum, so officially we're looking at what I believe is to be an Eau de Parfum Intense, not an actual parfum concentration. That's something to note. A lot of these brands will kind of do that, call something a Le Parfum, but it's not a parfum concentration. I digress. This one here has geranium, tonka bean, and sandalwood. And I believe that is all that they give you. So one of the more standard new 3-note breakdown deals. And I'll also go ahead and say that this is not one of my favorites. I'm not super in love with the original Scandal. That one's got some caramel sweetness going on. And I don't really love this one either. If I had to choose between the two, I would take the newer Le Parfum, but it still isn't something that I heavily enjoy. However, it does last more than 12 hours. It has great performance, and so I figured it would still be a good fit to throw into the video. You don't see it on the channel often because I don't love it, but however, it is a great scent that does have mass appeal behind it, and that's kind of what they were going for, you know, and it works for that. It's not made to please me and you and fragrance enthusiasts, but if you don't care about that, you want performance and mass appeal, it does a great job at that, so I have to give credit where credit's due. Now this next one is maybe not made to please us fragrance enthusiasts either. However, I really like it a lot, actually. It's Valentino UOMO, Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy Intense. It gets so confusing. I'm pretty sure that's the full name. Valentino UOMO, Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy. Or wait a minute, hold on a second here. This is getting so confusing. Valentino UOMO, Born in Roma Intense. I don't know where. Coral Fantasy was the other flanker. That's right. So Born in Roma, Eau de Parfum Intense. It's getting completely out of hand. I apologize for that. But you guys know what it is. This one has vanilla, lavender, and vetiver. Those are the only 3 notes that they give you here. And that's really kind of the extent of what I get. So you notice some aromatics. You notice some woods. You notice some vanilla. You kind of have all of your bases covered besides like a citrus opening or something, but you don't really need that here. And there is a freshness to it. It does have a familiar smell. However, compared to the original, I much prefer this, and I think this is a huge improvement. You know, I would say UOMO Intense has been highly respected in the community, even same with the original UOMO. These, not so much, but I do really like this Eau de Parfum Intense flanker. It's got great performance. It's a little bit more interesting than the original and some of their other releases, even like the original Born in Roma. There's just some better characteristics to this one, and I really like it. Great for this time of year. It has that fresh, sweet balance, which works perfectly for fall when the temperatures are all over the place. Next up, we have DIOR Sauvage Elixir. Everything from cinnamon to licorice to nutmeg, and you've got some sandalwood in here, some other woods going on, all of that stuff. It's crazy strong. It is one of the strongest designer scents that I have, and that's saying something because I do have quite a few big ones. And that's saying something because I do have quite a few beast mode designers. And honestly, I'll say that this can hang with some of my strongest niche fragrances too. I mean, this stuff is crazy, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why it has become so popular, aside from the fact that it's, you know, less sauvage-y and more mature and refined. The performance is another huge selling point to me. So if you're looking for something that is completely unhinged, just off the wall, just absurdly strong, something that is unnecessarily strong, Sauvage Elixir is the way to go. You do pay a premium for it, however, it does deliver. And look, you can go for some clones like Lattafa Assad, which also really hold their own in the performance category for a fraction of the cost. You know, that Lattafa is like 25 bucks. Next up, LALIQUE Ombre Noir. So very, very unique scent. It's a designer brand doing some niche things is kind of how I would look at it in terms of its creativity. You know, this is really a nice piece here. It's got some bay leaf, some boozy notes, some cinnamon, some sandalwood, all of that stuff. Tobacco, I believe. There's something just different about it. I don't know how to describe it or put it into words, but it's one of those deals where when you pick it up and you smell it for the first time, you realize that there is something special to this one that you haven't really smelled elsewhere, and I really like it for that reason. I think it's perfect for this time of year, fall, going into winter time. It's a great time to wear this one. I think it's getting a little bit harder to find because it's no longer available on their official website. It just leads to a dead page. There was a point where I looked it up to see the retail price, and I could find it, and then recently I tried, and it's gone. It's scrubbed. Discounters still have it. It's easy peasy to get, but I do recommend picking it up. Ferragamo F Black is a nice $25 to, I don't know, $30 cheapie here, which is all about the lavender and the tonka bean. So it's dusty, kind of powdery, but also clean and kind of fresh and cooling in a way, which is kind of weird, you know, from the lavender. But then you've got the black pepper, then you've got the tonka bean. So it's kind of an interesting mixture of notes that does work really well. This one's very masculine. This is not following, you know, the traditional types of scents released today, which are very, very sweet. And remember, this is not new either. It came out years ago at this point, but this is maybe a little bit more of a throwback feel to you, just because it has more of that rugged, masculine spiciness that is somewhat lost today. You know, today's new designer releases are going sweeter and softer. This one has more texture to it. It's got great performance as well. Good for fall and also great for winter. Now this next one is by far the most autumn smelling scent in this entire video. So not only does it have the performance benchmark required in order to make it here, the 12 plus hours, it's a great performer, but it actually smells like the season of fall. If you were to take up all of the usual smells associated with this season and bottle it into something, this is it right here. And you'll even know when I tell you the note breakdown. It's Parfums de Marly Habdan. It has caramel, it has apple, right? Caramel apple, some cinnamon, you know, then of course your usual vanilla tonkas. It just makes sense. It sounds like fall, and it especially smells like it. If I didn't say also, I think there's a little bit of an incense, kind of wispy smokiness in here. There is also some kind of resinous notes. I believe there's a myrrh in here. There's a lot going on, but it's gourmand, caramel apple sweetness. It is mouth-watering. It is delicious. This is a work of art. It's a beauty, and it smells like autumn. Most realistic scent for this time of year that I have come across. And the performance is a big plus side too. It's a little bit more pricey. However, you know, discounters, you can pick it up usually for just a touch under $200. Let's move on to Halloween Man X. This is a $34 to $40 scent, depending on tester or not. The good news is you can see this is a tester, and we are rewarded with a cap. So you can go that direction and save a good $6, $7, depending on where it's at. And you'll still get the same thing here. The only difference is going to be the box that it comes in. And yes, it's a common question, but testers are all unused. They're brand new in box. The boxes usually aren't wrapped, but they're unsprayed, you know, so it's not like you're buying a tester that has been used in the stores and it's half full. They come full. And if it doesn't, that is an issue, and you should reach out to that discounter and get an exchange or a refund, but that's something I've never had happen, and I buy testers all the time. But yeah, for the price point here, kind of bordering cheapy to bordering mid-range, kind of right there in that little awkward middle spot. It is a great performer. It's all about the coffee, the whiskey, some tonka bean in here as well. It's one that you've heard about, it's well hyped, and it deserves it. Let's keep it moving with PASHA de Cartier Parfum. It's all about the liqueur, the sandalwood, some fir balsam in here. more of a mature scent. It kind of goes in the complete opposite direction of something like Halloween Man X. You know, this has a more grown up and sophisticated, refined smell to it. And it kind of is similar to, or not similar in smell, but the original Pasha de Cartier has a similar deal. That one's more aromatic fougere, more classic, more older school smelling. And this is basically just a boozy, sweeter, heavier version of that, but it's just still going after the classy Cartier image, because I can't think of really any scents from this brand that smell super playful and young. You know, these do have more of a premium smell, which is great for you guys who are looking for that. Also has great performance, perfect for this time of year. Next up, Carolina Herrera Bronze Tonka. So this was my first, I believe it's confidential or confidential fragrance line purchase from Carolina Herrera. So, you know, every designer brand now comes out with their more expensive exclusive line, and I think it's confidential or confidential or something for Carolina Herrera. This was my first purchase into that world. And I think it was a great starting point because I got this one in on a blind purchase, of course, and immediately loved it. So besides having, you know, tonka bean, it also has some leather, some coffee, some saffron. So I purchased it based off the note breakdown, you know, because they look good. And it comes in, I try it out, and sure enough, it is great. It's really punchy in terms of its delivery. Like when you smell this, it's not muted, it's not dull. Everything, all of the notes come together and it just hits you. Like it really punches through the air. It's quite strong, and that's usually indicative of a high quality scent, of something that's blended to perfection. There's a lot of scents out there that kind of can do a similar thing. A lot of times the trend is that you'll see that more with niche or high-end designer. A lot of cheap fragrances can come across a little bit dull or muted in the air and on skin, but this one doesn't. And that's one of the first things I noticed about it, and I still do pick up on that. Nice hints of coffee in here. Not a huge coffee scent though. It's more about the tonka and some of the other sweet notes. And since then, I've expanded and bought many more from the line. Iris Empire, Mystery Tobacco, Virgin Mint. They're all great scents. A little bit more pricey, but well worth it. Great performer. Next up, we have Burberry Hero. This is going to be the newer eau de parfum, which is my preference. I don't really like the original all that much, but I do enjoy this one, actually. It's got cedar, benzoin, pine needles. It's the better scent for sure between the two. I think they made some serious changes here for the better, some nice improvements. Simply that it's giving it some more substance. You know, it's a little bit less typical smelling compared to the EDT. And because of those notes, you know, the benzoin kind of dusty vanillic smell and just the heavy focus on woods, it very much has a fall kind of personality to it. And I think it's very wearable for a lot of situations in this time of year, the cooler weather. It also has great performance to back it up. Ferragamo UOMO Signature is a fantastic $45 to $50 flanker, and this one, besides having all of the tonka bean sweet notes, also adds in some coffee and leather to give it more of a masculine balance compared to the original Ferragamo UOMO, which is sweet notes all the way through. Like from start to finish, it is syrupy sweet and strong, and it does not back off. The leather and the coffee really help this DNA out for the better, and it gives it that extra wearability because it's not so overpowering in that nature. But don't get me wrong, it still is a very strong scent, has great performance, and the original is as well, and it could have been placed in here, but I think this one does have more usability behind it. We gotta go with Prada Luna Rossa Ocean Eau de Parfum up next. It's a new release this year, but it already hit discounters, and you can pick this one up usually for a touch over $100 for 100 ml on discounters now, which is a great price. It's got vanilla, woody notes, olibanum, and amber extreme. I am telling you guys, this is fantastic. If you don't like the original Ocean, you have a strong chance of liking this one because they are that different. It's not aquatic, it's not oceanic, it's not fresh. I don't know why they did this. I think it is a major mistake because it's not going to get the coverage that it deserves because it's lumped into a line that people don't really care for. So do yourself a favor, sample it, try it out first, but it's really good. Has a nice kind kind of smokiness from the frankincense in here, some sweetness going on. The amber extreme gives it a little bit of that familiar bluishness, but it's combined with some sweeter, heavier, smokier notes and resinous notes, which make it super interesting to wear. Great performance, and for what it's worth, quite unique. Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir, another new release that has also from time to time hit discounters. This would be a good time to say, if you want to be the first to know about rare, discontinued, or hard to find fragrances coming in stock, like DIOR and PARFUM, Bleu Electrique, Luminous Night, or brand new releases like this hitting discounters for well below retail, jump on my mailing list and my texting list at the link down below, because this one has popped up a few times for a pretty good price below retail, and it's worth picking up. It's a true parfum. It is by far the most premium flanker within the line. It's got honey and tobacco, which is a great mixture, along with the vanilla and the tonka and those similar smells to Le Male Parfum. It is a fantastic progression, and truly, again, to reiterate, the most premium Le Male flanker we have so far. Fantastic performance, true parfum concentration, great stuff. Almost done. We've got AZZARO The Most Wanted. It's all about the toffee and the amber wood and tonka bean vanilla and all of that stuff. They only give you 3 notes, but it has that the standard tonka bean sweet note package in the base, but then they're kind of pushing towards the again, like the toffee and things like that. Those are the notes they want you to focus on. So it does have a little bit of a gourmand feel. It's very sweet to kind of match with today's new releases. And it has great performance. People love how it smells. It has a lot of usability in the fall and winter time because it's pretty casual. So you can wear it in a lot of situations, maybe just avoid, super dressed up situations. But other than that, you're pretty much good to go with this. Last up, I think this is a good one to end on. MANCERA Red Tobacco. This is not the Extrait, although it's sitting right over there. I haven't done a video on it yet, but I do have the new Intense Red Tobacco. Here it is right here. In case you don't believe me, I've got it and I'm excited. I've been wearing it. Can you even see it? Intense is right there. This is not a good setup, but believe me, Intense. It's an Extrait magnetic cap, whereas my old Red Tobacco is screw-on cap. It truly is intense and crazy strong, but for all intents and purposes, the EDP more than fits the bill, and I'm gonna leave it at that because you guys know how strong this is. The tobacco in here and patchouli and some oud is a powerhouse of a scent, and it's great for those chilly fall days and even evenings especially. Touching back to what I said, we're going into fourth quarter, and this is the time of year to be making some fragrance purchases. If you've been holding out, now is the time to be on the lookout. We've got all of the holiday sales coming up, and usually around this time of year, the discounters are doing the most buying activity. They're purchasing the most stock, and with that comes a lot of rare, discontinued, and hard to find items. Get on my mailing list and texting list at the link and number down below. You will have first dibs, and I promise you won't regret signing up because there's going to be a lot of heat dropping here now through the end of the year, so I highly recommend you jump on. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy these performance beasts, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.